What's up guys, Kalaka Design here, and for today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to add textures to your 3D model using Adobe Dimension 2020. So first thing we're going to do is go and download our 3D model. We're going to go to this page. I'm going to add the link in the description real quick. So as you can see, they offer a huge collection of material that we can download. Some of them are for free, some of them you're gonna spend a buck on your 3D sculptures, but no big deal. We're gonna stick with the free content for the moment. I'm gonna select their model right here, and she's like a demon hunter with a big side, and she reminds me of a Red Riding Hood or something like that, to be honest. But it looks pretty cool. I like the colors. I like, especially the hair. It has like this reddish gradient. I'm a big fan of anime. I love her big eyes and that kind of stuff. So before you download it, give a big thumbs up to your creator. Give it a comment. For this amazing artwork. And about the formats that we're going to be using, this one is FBX. Dimension allows you to use FBX, STL, OBJ by default. I'm not pretty sure about other formats that allows you to use right now. So after you download your file, you're gonna get two folders. One is called source, which is pretty much the contents that I'm showing you right now, and we're not gonna be using these textures. We're just gonna leave it there. What we're gonna be using is the FBX file, which is your 3D model. So if you don't want to use it, just delete all these files and focus on your FBX. So on the second folder that it's called textures, we're gonna find all the files that we're gonna be using. They're all like pretty much the same, just change the format that they're organized. It's PNG instead of a TGA. We can find the normal, the roughness, the metallic textures I'm gonna be talking about in a minute. Okay, now we're gonna import our 3D model to Adobe Dimension. One more time, I'm using the version 2020. So I already adjust the object. I scale it a little bit. I placed this side, make it look nice and sexy. And now we're gonna see all the elements that we're gonna be modifying right now. It might be a little bit tedious at the beginning with you if you know what you're doing. Like I said, I learned all this stuff by myself. I didn't watch any tutorial or anything, So I'm gonna start by deleting these two objects called mesh bullet. We're not gonna use it in this tutorial. If you want to leave it, okay. So we're gonna start with the mesh ruby, and you're gonna select it. As you can see, it's pretty much skin, the clothes, the boots. Go to actions, place graphical model, and then go to the folder that contains the textures. The second one I show you, select ruby diff PNG, double click, and it's gonna load the decal. As you can see, it looks a little bit weird. We're gonna change that in a minute. So you're gonna go to placement and select fill, and bam, you're gonna see how it matches with the object. It's looking pretty good, pretty solid, but it has that like plastic finish. We're gonna change that in a minute, and for that I'm just gonna adjust this a little bit. I'm gonna rotate it, see how it looks. You can tell all this finish on the face, on her skin, And for the next step, we're gonna be using during all this tutorial these two options right out the bottom of the properties. It's called roughness and metallic, and that's how pretty much what it does. It alters the final texture that you're gonna apply to your object. I mean, in case that you have all these textures created before, I don't know, maybe in Blender or Maya. It all depends what kind of textures that you get when once that you download your 3D object. And for this, just double click Ruby Rough, and you're gonna see the difference how from plastic material goes to like a more realistic texture. I'm gonna rotate this a little bit, and you can also see how it changes her skin and these leather pieces. Now we're gonna adjust the metal, so double click Ruby Met, and then it's gonna alter all these metallic objects that you might have. In this case, it's like these belts, this I'm just gonna show it right now in a better angle. And there you go, it's looking nice, it's looking more realistic character. And I think that's it for this step. I'm gonna see you in the next one. And now we're gonna add one more texture to the mesh Ruby. For that, go ahead and select it. Make sure the material is selected, not the graphic, and then just click on normal and go to the texture folder again, and you're gonna select the one that says Ruby norm. Okay, so that is gonna add another layer of texture to your 3D object. It's looking nice, it's looking a little bit better as how we started, like a plastic material. And I think that we're pretty much done with this part. I'm trying to adjust this, but no, it's not gonna happen. I think we're pretty much done with this part of the model for now. It's looking very nice, and I think we gotta work on the lights a little bit later. Okay, and next we're going to do is just select the mesh, the Ruby cloak, and what we're gonna do is apply the texture, select the Ruby div again, and go to placement decal, change that to fill, and again it's gonna give us that plastic material finish that we had with the first step. And now we're gonna add another layer, another texture, just put it that way, to the cloak. We're gonna select the graphic and then click on the roughness, select the file, go to the textures folder again and select Ruby Rough. Double click, it's gonna load it, perfect. The next thing we're gonna do is just go to the metallic, select the file, and go ahead and go for the Ruby Matte again. Double click, it's gonna load. You're gonna notice there's no like big difference with this one. I think it only applies on this kind of seal that she has on the cloak, I think. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is just gonna work on the belt. We're gonna select that and just gonna place the material on that. Same thing, Ruby div. I'm gonna change that to fill. Okay, it's looking nice. Then we're gonna go to roughness, do the same thing on the last step, Ruby rough. And for the final part, I'm just gonna rotate this a little bit. For the final part, we're gonna add the metal, and that should be it for now. Perfect. Okay, we're just gonna adjust this a little bit. Okay, for the next part, we're gonna work on the eyes. For that, select the eyes, mesh Ruby eyes, and go to the textures and locate the Ruby eye diff. Double click. Okay, we're gonna change the placement decal to fill. So next thing we're gonna do is select Ruby eye AO, and we're gonna apply a filter on those eyes, and for that we're gonna select the eye occlusion like so. Okay, now as you can see, the eyes have this little brightness and shows more of an expression. So next thing we're gonna work on is the hair. Just place this a little so we have a better angle of what we're gonna be doing. Select the hair. Okay, select the hair on actions, place equal. Yeah, there's a texture for that one as well, so change the decal to fill. Okay, so we're gonna adjust this finish in a minute, and for that we're gonna adjust it manually on roughness, and you can play around with this option as you like. It's all about you guys. It all depends what kind of finish you want. Okay, now for the next step, select the material, go to normal, select file, and then locate the one that says Ruby hair norm, and then you're gonna see it already applied the texture for the hair. And go again and select the graphic, and like I said before, play around with this roughness option as you like. It's really up to you guys. So we're almost done with this object, with this character, and the very last thing we're gonna do is just work on this side. So I'm just taking a quick look, but before that, if you want to do it, it's up to you. If not, just leave it like that. It's this little bag. Like I said, just take some practice to understand how the textures work in Adobe Dimension, and well, especially a program that is not built to sculpt or design textures or materials. With everything is pretty much assembled just to work on pretty cool mockups, branding, design. I do it just for fun. I do it just because I like 3D, that kind of stuff. So we're almost done with this. I'm gonna adjust the screen so we have to take a better look of how we're gonna be working with this site. Okay, we just all right, just select the mesh crescent rows actions, place decal, and then there's where it is, yeah, crescent rows, same name, change decal to fill. All right, now we're gonna adjust the roughness as well. Okay, just give me a minute. Select the graphic, then roughness, select file, and select the one that says crescent rows rough. Yeah, perfect. It already applies that texture like so. Now we're gonna adjust the metal, the metallic, select file, and the ones crescent rows met, double click, and then it adjusts already. Okay, so next thing we're gonna go select the material and then go to normal, open file, and select the one yeah, crescent normal for the final look. Okay, and that's it. This is how you place your textures of your 3D object on the Adobe Dimension. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and see you on the next one.